haven't heard back from them. I'm noticing that what I'm feeling is I'm feeling a bit of anxiety. I'm feeling kind of sadness. I wonder why that is. Hey everyone, Cheryl here, welcome back. This week I wanted to talk about ruminating versus reflection. So what does that mean? Ruminating is when we go over in our heads about how something went, what happened, and how terrible it was and how terrible we felt about that thing happening. And then reflection is when we think about it in a slightly different way, and we think about it with the goal to garner wisdom and really extract really juicy information to learn more about ourselves and to grow. Ruminating is really disempowering, and we know it's disempowering because it doesn't feel good, and reflection is empowering, and it helps us to learn more about ourselves and helps us to move forward. So let's look at an example of what that could look like. So let's say there's someone that you've been dating, probably virtually, right? Because I'm filming this during lockdown. Are we still in lockdown? Technically, I think we are. It's a whole thing. I'm not sure. Anyway, so let's say you've had a couple FaceTime dates or Zoom dates or whatever the case is, and then you haven't heard back from this person. So ruminating would sound like, they haven't texted back. I wonder why they haven't texted back. What's going on? Oh, that feels shitty. I thought we were getting along. I don't know what's happening. This always happens. It's not fair. It feels shitty, etc., etc. Reflection would sound more like, I haven't heard back from them, and I'm noticing that what I'm feeling is I'm feeling a bit of anxiety. I'm feeling kind of sadness. I wonder why that is. And then you journal on it, and then you go, okay, that reminds me of that time when I was in that relationship years ago and this thing happened, or that reminds me of when I was a kid and I wasn't responded to, right? So that is on very different extremes of the spectrum, albeit. But it could remind you of something like an old relationship, or it could remind you of a childhood wound that goes really, really deep. And so by reflecting on that, you're asking yourself questions like, okay, so knowing that, what can I do now? Knowing that, what's the next step for me? What is it I need to do? Is there anything I need to do? Is there anything I need to say or to voice? Or is there something I need to give to myself? We've done this before, but let's do it again. We cannot overdo this. So we're going to close our eyes and actually do it with me. Otherwise, you're just watching me with my eyes closed, and that's kind of strange, right? It's strange for you and it's strange for me. So place your right hand on your heart and left hand on your solar plexus, belly. Breath in, breath out. And ask yourself, how do I feel? What do I need? And how can I give that to myself? Take a deep breath in. Exhale. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. So, how do you feel? What do you need? And how can you give that to yourself? Can you feel how different that feels to ruminating? Can you feel how different that feels to staying stuck in it? Can you feel how different it feels to re-victimizing yourself? Can you see how that moves you forward rather than keeps you in the same place? It takes courage, and it takes bravery, and we all know courage and bravery is the ability to move forward even though we're afraid, even though it's difficult, we still choose to move forward. And I just want to say that I know things have been hard. I know things have been hard. And what happened wasn't your choice or your fault, but you do get to move forward now. You get to choose to do that, right? You get to choose how it's going to be for you now. And you didn't have that choice when you were younger, when you were little. But you do have that choice now, and you've got a lot of depth and resilience within you. You've got the ability to look at all this to look at it and to reflect, and to go within. And if you feel really ready and you want in on one of my courses, then just comment down below and I'd happily send you the details. It's really this ability to look at ourselves and to reflect and also take responsibility for the part that is ours. Now, sometimes when I talk about personal responsibility, people go from one extreme to the other, to not taking responsibility at all for their relationship situation, to taking all the responsibility. Or maybe you're already doing this and you're already taking on something that isn't yours, and you're taking on their problems as well, and that's not yours to carry. It's about having this really balanced perspective, this balanced, healthy perspective in the middle of saying, okay, which part of this is mine? Because we can't take on if they've treated us badly. That's not our fault or something that we need to really look at, right? They've chose to behave how they've chose to behave. We're not trying to figure them out. I mean, we know how hard it is to change and heal ourselves. We're not trying to change another person. But the question becomes, why am I tolerating this? What part of me feels that this is okay, that I deserve it, or I think that I can't get better than this, right? What part of me is used to this? What part of this relationship dynamic is familiar? It's a really powerful one. What part of this is familiar? Where did I see this? Where did I learn this? Spoiler, mum and dad, right? So when you can do that, when you can reflect, it moves you through it, and then it goes from why is this happening to me to how can I use this? How can I use it to grow? How can I use it to develop myself as a person? How can I use it to help others? If you choose to do that. I mean, not everyone's meant to be a coach or anything, but we can find different ways to use it, and maybe that's raising really emotionally healthy, conscious kids. Maybe that's your work, right? I don't know what that is for you. But certainly when we're able to reflect, we can use what we went through and transmute it and alchemize it and turn it into lessons and growth. To go deeper with this work, it would be an absolute joy, honor, and a privilege to guide you through it. Comment below and I'd happily have a conversation with you about how I can help you do that. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next week.